Finalists are Big Lice, King Godfrey, Queen Kibby, Queen Diva, I Soursop, Blanchett, Lady Composer, Lord Cut, King Hollywood, Singing Sharon, and King Irvin. The alternate is Sackcloth and Ashes. The competitors will take the stage once more on the 29th of December for the finals, where they'll face off against reigning King Socrates. All shows are being held virtually and can be viewed on the National Carnival Committee Facebook page. SL Hosford St. Paul's United FC drew first blood in the SKNFA Premier League finals with a 2-0 victory over rivals Rams Village Superstars. Andre Huey, media consultant to the SKNFA, has this report.
Football fans were treated to a tense and competitive Game 1 of the SKNFA Premier League finals on Saturday night at the Warner Park, as SL Hosford St. Paul's United FC drew first blood against regular season league winners Rams Village Superstars 2-0. Keith Freeman scored in the 70th minute and Anthony Keynes in the 84th minute to wrap up the 2-0 victory. Both teams went into halftime 0-0, with Village having the better of the first 50 minutes, but failed to score due in part to the heroics of goalkeeper Jamal Jeffers. Both teams came out gun-in for goal in the second half, but it was St. Paul's who broke through with once again Keith Freeman. The match was broadcast live on the SKNFA website. Commentators Sylvester Charles and Essington Watts.
Crowd shouting all kinds of instruction for the players. This one called inside of the area. Dylan coming off his back up. The ball headed into the back of the net. Keith Freeman has found the back of the net again. Not for the first time, but the first time in tonight's game. It's 1-0 to SS Hosford St. Paul's. Keith Freeman has scored. He's the Superman here at Warner Park. And his celebration here once again. Oh, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Celebration. The players celebrating so much. One plays down outside of the area. Kiddy has received his high five. He's now just trotting back as if just waiting for time. In the 78th minute, he just picked that one up inside the area and put it away quite easily into the back of the net.
Well, what had happened was that the corner kick came in and the keeper for the first time tonight mishandled it.
As heading that one down and coming up trying to clear. Comes across and into the back of the net.
And it's a second goal by the same Anthony Keynes.
Anthony Keynes once more coming from the far post and just chesting that one into the back of the net. 2-0 in favor of SL Hosford St. Paul's. That sneaky little player, number 73, has done it again at the far post. Just coming on to the field of play the last minute or so, and this one was chipped in from the far side, eluded the goalkeeper, and there he was.
St. Paul's coach Iroy Kunga Jeffers said it was a change in approach in the second half that delivered the victory.
It was a real fast game, especially the first half. It was real tight, so we have to make some adjustment during the game. So we made the adjustment and things happened for us. Come out the victory.
What were some of those adjustments?
Adjustment, we're pulling out certain players and a little tweeting to free up a little players, 1 or 2 players, so we can get some attack generating.
I saw that you're 3 times man of the match. Mr. Freeman scored a goal, and also Anthony Keynes, who got the man of the match tonight. What are your thoughts about those goal scorers?
The man is just a genius right now, the man on top, so we have to give him the praise right now. Anthony, back-to-back goals, super sub. That's the most important thing we want. A man coming off the field, coming off the bench, giving us something what we want.
What is your expectations for the next game on Wednesday?
The next game is why, you know.
Just why.
Just why.
All right.
Coach Stephen Clark of Village was peeved in the manner in which the first goal was scored, as he felt his goalkeeper was fouled in the build-up to that goal. However, he said his team will regroup for Game 2.
So what are your plans for next game to at least get a win?
Well, Jill, we got to regroup and come again. We got to regroup and come again. But as I tell you, these things is unacceptable.
Game 2 is on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. at the Warner Park. Village can force a Game 3 with a victory. That Game 3 will be played on Saturday night. But should St. Paul secure another victory, they'll be lifting the Premier League Championship trophy.
We now move to news on the regional scene, where medical officials in St. Lucia have welcomed the new contact tracing app to help ease the burden on the healthcare system. Medical professionals appeared on GIS St. Lucia on Thursday to provide details on the application. Here's more.
As time passes and memories fade, COVID-19 positive individuals may have trouble remembering the persons they came into close contact with. The Health Ministry is currently in possession of the 758 Care Alert app to track an individual's whereabouts over a 14-day period. Health officials explained how the app works at a press conference on Thursday at the command center.
There are some limitations to contact tracing, and sometimes persons don't remember exactly where they've been, who they've been in contact with, who has visited them, some of the activities that they've been engaged in. And by using the app, we are the ones, the contact tracing team, who would be privy to the information that the confirmed case is giving us. Pretty much like what is happening now, but it's just going to help to juggle their memory and to help them.
Graduate student and researcher at Harvard University, Khalil Louisi, has been involved in the development of the app at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Louisi says the application helps map the spread of the virus.
So all of the public places that you would have gone to over 14-day period, so 2-week period, it maintains all of those points and it saves it in your phone. No one has access to this information. Even if somebody goes into your phone, they cannot see all of the places that you visited. So it is completely private. In the event that one individual does test positive for COVID-19 or any infectious disease, really, they would choose to share that location log with the contact tracer, and the contact tracer would then be able to have a visual representation of all of the public places that that individual had gone to over the 40-day period.
Principal Nursing Officer Juliet Cassius welcomes the app, which she says will help lift a huge weight off the healthcare system.
If one is placed on home quarantine, one is expected to remain within the confines of this room or the dwelling in which they're at. So we would not expect these persons to be moving around. So in that case, the app should not show you have been anywhere because you are supposed to be confined. So in that way, it puts a little less pressure on the ministry, in that we know that this person is within home quarantine and they would not have been moving around where we would need to be doing that kind of contact tracing.
The violation of home quarantine rules has been one of the major challenges for the Health Ministry. During the NEMAC press conference on Wednesday, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George disclosed that some individuals were even hosting, quote, quarantine parties, unquote. Additionally, the authorities are bracing themselves for an increase in home quarantine applications from returning nationals this holiday season. The government expects the receipt of electronic devices this week, following a successful pilot process of the first batch. Officials are in the process of reviewing the bio buttons and tracking of persons in self-isolation, which are set to commence next week. Colby DeVoe, HTS News Force.
Still on the regional scene, in Jamaica, the Ministry of Health and Wellness says it remains committed to increasing COVID-19 awareness, particularly among the youth. More in this CVM News report.
The government of Jamaica has embarked on a number of initiatives to create great awareness in the populace, but also to intervene where necessary to get persons to comply with the COVID-19 protocols and provide support to those affected by the virus. This, according to the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton. He says, as the festive season progresses, the government continues to engage citizens and, in particular, youth.
Young people are very important in this COVID response, and many young people, frankly speaking, have been left out of the COVID response because they are not seen as vulnerable, and this is not good, because the truth is many of them have had to restrict their own activities. Many of them are experiencing mental anguish. Some of them may pick up the virus. It doesn't affect them, but it affects their mothers and grandmothers.
Dr. Tufton says, under the Youth Engagement Program, every parish has a group of youth leaders who are used to develop COVID response projects. On Thursday, December 3, he met with youth leaders in Portland who will be doing just that between now and the new year. As at Friday, December 11, the parish had recorded 344 cases of the virus.
The group will brand themselves as Portland COVID Youth Response, and they will work with community health aides to walk the town square, the town center, both in Port Antonio here, but could be elsewhere, hand out COVID brochures, talk to people and encourage them to observe the protocols. They will do so in conjunction with the public health team on the ground in the parish, who will provide them with masks for their own protection, sanitizer, again for their protection, and they will walk with community health aides so that they are properly guided and give as much support as possible.
Internationally, the first shipments of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine are arriving at distribution centers across the United States under Operation Warp Speed, the nation's largest immunization project in history. Under the program, officials are hoping to distribute 40 million doses this month and immunize as many as 100 million by the first quarter of 2021. The coronavirus pandemic has killed nearly 300,000 Americans, more than anywhere else in the world. Al Jazeera's John Hendren reports.
The United States rolled out the most ambitious vaccination program in American history, to the applause of workers at Pfizer's Michigan vaccine plant. It is a test of an unprecedented national effort to save millions of lives in the nation most ravaged by the pandemic. Workers load dry ice into boxes containing the super-chilled vaccine, kept at -70 degrees Celsius. Then, in a scene not witnessed in this century, vaccine-bearing FedEx and UPS delivery trucks are escorted by U.S. Marshals. The shipments are expected to reach the first 145 locations on Monday and a total of 636 by Wednesday.
20 million vaccinations this month, and then we think we'll be up to 50 million total vaccinations of people by the end of January, and 100 million shots in arms by the end of February, just with the Moderna and Pfizer vaccine.
But amid the celebration, there are warning signs. To achieve the herd immunity necessary to stop the disease in the U.S., virologists say 75% of the public must be vaccinated. But in a study of one healthcare system, Florida's Jackson Health System, half of the healthcare workers said they would not be taking the vaccine. Another 35% said they would not take it in the first round. The head of the U.S. National Institutes of Health says that's a major concern.
I would like to plead to people who are listening to this morning to really hit the reset button on whatever they think they knew about this vaccine that might cause them to be so skeptical. Please, people, when you look back in a year and you say to yourself, did I do the right thing? I hope you'll be able to say yes, because I looked at the evidence.
Across the U.S., the virus is reaching new peaks. The state of Mississippi reports it now has no more intensive care beds available.
What I fear that people do not understand, however, is that the resources are finite. They are finite. There gets to a point when we have to say, we don't have another place to put another patient safely. We can't do it.
With nearly 300,000 dead and new infections rising, the human toll continues to mount. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And now for the weather. Present weather shows cloudy skies with a gentle breeze of 9 miles per hour from the northeast. The temperature for today is 27 degrees Celsius or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are moderate with waves of 5 to 6 feet. The forecast says weather for today will be partly cloudy with a 60% or a moderate chance of showers, and for tonight expect partly cloudy skies with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Sunset today will be at 5:39 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 6:33 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.